Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice to be back.
Good. Likewise. Hi, Anne.
Hi, Sarah. Excuse me, I'm well, thank you.
Morning to you. Dika could not put on.
I'm in Hua Hin now.
Are you having some swims in Hua Hin?
Yes, but because I think it's after the earthquake, the water is quite not so clean, you know.
Oh,
A lot of
really?
seaweed. Yes.
And any
And make
problems in
me
Hua Hin from
itchy.
the earthquake?
No.
No.
It's quite normal. Yes, as usual.
Mm. Okay, I saw a note that Acharn is ready. I can't see. Oh, yes. Acharn, are you here now?
Yes, สวัสดีค่ะ everyone.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Acharn.
ท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ
Yes.
สวัสดีครับ
Betty, would you like to bring in your topic now as we're getting a little
It's
short
just
of
a
time?
short-
Thank you very much, Acharn. That's
Oh,
I'm
that's
sure.
wonderful. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm so glad I waited and had the patience. Okay. I just wanted to make a comment about last week, about the understanding of a Sotāpanna, why he wouldn't have already gotten rid of conceit. And as soon as I had closed the Zoom discussion last week, the answer came right to me. So basically, because the understanding of a Sotāpanna is not the full understanding of, say, an Arahant. So this is why, even after Sotāpanna, and of course we know all this, but I just didn't connect it. And so that there's still conceit, and that will only be eradicated once the person becomes an arahant, say 7 or 8 lifetimes away, whatever. So that was, so now I understand it, so I don't need to.
Thanks for sharing that, Betty. But I thought your problem was you couldn't understand how, if there was no wrong view of self, how there could still be conceit.
Right.
Because I think you thought that conceit necessarily involves an idea of self.
Right.
So how do you see that now?
Well, it was more like the idea that the understanding of the Sotāpanna would be the basic understanding of enlightenment. However, the understanding of an arahant would be much greater, so that with the other levels in between, there would still be the necessity to eliminate conceit or mana.
But do you still think that conceit necessarily involves an idea of self?
This again, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure about that. I think I'm not sure the Sotāpanna. Okay, I understand that the Sotāpanna has a particular level of understanding of no self. Okay, but
has a full understanding of no self.
You would say the Sotāpanna has a full understanding of no self. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
otherwise,
then you're right. I don't quite get the point that a mana would be something separate from
wrong view of self. Yeah. It's a tricky one. But basically, there can be an idea of one's relative importance or inferiority without necessarily having the notion at that moment that there is a self. Remember that the idea of a self is a belief in. It's a way of, it's a belief or supposed understanding, which is incorrect. And there can be as I say, the sense of relative importance or unimportance, regardless of whether there is a held view in relation to the existence of a self.
John, would you care to comment on that, please?
Yes, because Sotāpanna never have the idea of something permanent at all. Because the attainment of enlightened the truth as no self. That's why there can never be the idea of self as before anymore, because of understanding the nature of what is there as not self. Is that right? And Sotāpanna understand what is there as it is. So at moment of mana, Sotāpanna understand mana as not self. It's just a reality. Begin to understand all dhammas as different realities. No one at all, no I. So mana is mana, just a reality. But it's there by conditions, because the first stage of enlightenment is no misunderstanding of what is there as self at all. Only that. So whatever is there by conditions, the accumulations, eons and eons ago, still are there. Attachment to sensuous object, because there are conditions for attachment to sensuous object, still there. So when there are conditions for attachment to sense object, there must be sense object, but not I, or not that permanent thing as before, like a chair, a bird, jewelry, and so on. Only that which is seen, but an attachment is there to be known little by little, to have less and less attachment to whatever is there as before, stage by stage. That's why so many realities accumulated to be less and less after becoming Sotāpanna, to have less attachment to sensuous object as before becoming Sotāpanna. Is that right? Otherwise, how can there be letting go of the attachment to the sensuous object? That's why even the second stage of enlightenment, there is the attachment to sensuous object, but less than being a Sotāpanna. And that stage of enlightenment, the truth, have condition to have less so to the sensuous object. And that is the stage of Sakatagami. And still the attachment to sensuous object is so there, but it's weaker until more and more understanding of the truth that has been known, enlightened to be Sotāpanna and Sakatagama. It's time to end up the attachment to sensuous object, becoming Anagami. See, no more attachment to sensuous object because of the great understanding of that level. How enormous condition accumulated to be attachment to sensuous object. That's why it has to be gradually less and less. At moment of becoming of Sotāpanna, to be moment of Sakatagami, and to be Anagami no more. So the kilesa is very strong, that one knows when it's there. Even there is understanding of what is there as so true, but there's still condition for attachment, just like it, because it's so very pleasant. The fake diamond, say, does anyone like it? Keep it, wear it, even it's fake. That's why no wrong understanding of the kilesa, of how much to be developed to let go. The clinging which has been accumulated years and years and years ago, little by little, to become less and less until no more akusla or kusla can arise at the stage of arahata. All depends on understanding the truth. That's why there are many levels of understanding the truth. For now, see, we heard a lot of the words of truth, but how much understanding of that, even at moment of attending to the characteristic of a reality, not just understand that nama is that which experiences the object, and citta is different from cittasika. They are all known by word, no doubt about what are there in word. But what about the moment of beginning to understand the nature of nama, the citta and the cittasika? That's why the first stage of enlightenment, who know nama, rupa, paricetayana, the panya at the degree, the distinction is so clear, the distinction of nama and rupa. Not we just say like now, but it's the moment when one reality appears as nama and the other nama or the rupa by conditions. So very quick and very short and so natural like now. So Panya is so truthful because it understands the truth. Even it's so subtle, stage by stage.
And just very briefly, Betty and everyone. So, for example, when there's an idea, oh, the others are listening carefully, or they're not listening, running quickly, or running slowly, panicking, not panicking. Mana is there, can be so very, very subtle. There doesn't need to be any comparison. But behind the idea of they're panicking or they're listening carefully, there is the idea of it's different from for me, but no wrong view of self at those moments of mana. So when mana arises, no wrong view, different realities, even though both arise with attachment. So when wrong view has been eradicated, still there is mana, still there is the idea of the dog should be controlled better, or this and that, or all these different ideas that are there, more and more subtle. So even the anagami, who has no clinging to sense objects at all, still the subtle lingering mana is there. Different jhana experiences or whatever, still there. So only at the stage of arahat is mana eradicated. We can continue next week because time is up.
Thank you so much.
So good topic, Betty.
John. Thank you so much. That clears up a lot for me.